In the ancient land of India, amidst the opulent palaces and bustling streets, there lived a man whose journey would forever change the course of history. Born into privilege as Siddhartha Gotama in 566 BC, he seemed destined for a life of luxury and power. Yet, a deeper calling stirred within him, a yearning to unravel the mysteries of existence, to understand the pervasive suffering that plagued humanity. At the age of 29, Siddhartha made a bold decision. He renounced his princely comforts and embarked on a quest for truth, venturing into the unknown depths of the forest. For 6 years, he delved into the teachings of wise sages and subjected himself to rigorous ascetic practices. But despite his efforts, enlightenment remained elusive. It was beneath the sacred Bodhi tree, on a moonlit night infused with the fragrance of blossoms, that Siddhartha's perseverance bore fruit. As the first rays of dawn pierced the darkness, he experienced a profound awakening, a realization that transcended mortal limitations. In that moment, he became the Buddha, the enlightened one, and the world would never be the same again. For the next 45 years, the Buddha traversed the dusty roads of northeastern India, his radiant presence drawing seekers from far and wide. His teachings, rooted in compassion and wisdom, formed the bedrock of a vibrant community dedicated to the pursuit of liberation. From humble peasants to esteemed scholars, all were welcome in his fold, united by a shared quest for inner peace and understanding. Central to the Buddha's message was the recognition of dukkha, the inherent suffering woven into the fabric of existence, and the possibility of transcending it through the attainment of nirvana. His insights resonated deeply with people from all walks of life, offering a beacon of hope amidst life's trials and tribulations. Though centuries have passed since the Buddha walked the earth, his legacy endures, spanning continents and cultures. From the bustling streets of Bangkok to the serene monasteries of Japan, his teachings continue to inspire millions, guiding them on the path to awakening. Indeed, the story of the Buddha is not merely a tale of bygone days, but a timeless reminder of the human capacity for transformation and transcendence. And so, his luminous legacy lives on, illuminating the path to liberation for generations to come. The Buddha's 10 life lessons are listed below. 1. According to practice the center way, the Buddha, the foundation of enduring is want. Siddhartha Gotama spent the remainder of his life thinking about the 4 honorable bits of insight. 1. There is languishing. 2. The reason for enduring is our longings. 3. The answer for our affliction, Ben, is to let ourselves out of our longings. And 4. The honorable eightfold way that drives us to our delivery from misery. You understood that life was quite flawed, and individuals frequently attempted to occupy themselves from real factors by looking for material connections like abundance, acclaim, and honor. He got the opportunity to encounter this direct. What's more, being naturally introduced to an exceptionally rich family. Before his edification, he left his castle interestingly and saw the 3 cruel real factors: destitution, infection, and passing. Embracing plainness, he later attempted to get away from the inward sufferings by denying himself of any material solace and need. Didn't extra him from his longings and languishing. Subsequently, he lets us know that we should take a stab at the center way, the life among extravagance and outrageous neediness, a harmony between indulging and denying ourselves of the things we want. To rehearse the center way, one should free oneself of one's longings. We should commend the possibility of barely enough and embrace a more adjusted, economical way of life that embraces the joys of presence instead of those of utilization. According to Nurse Bronnie Ware, an Australian nurse who specialized in the care of patients who were terminally ill, one of the most common regrets of a dying person is that they wish they hadn't worked as hard. We will generally lose a lot within recent memory pursuing things that are effectively expendable, getting the most recent devices, needing to get another position, needing to make 5 digits in our financial balance. Yet, subsequent to getting these things, we actually think of ourselves as needing more, or unfortunately, that we don't appear to be content with it. At the point when we liken our satisfaction with getting what we want, we won't ever be cheerful and will experience consistently. 2. Embrace the right view. As per the Buddha, don't blow up with individuals or circumstances. Both are feeble without your response. The Buddha is requesting that we embrace the right view, to be more philosophical about the sentiments we hold, to become mindful of what we think, and afterward, to ask all the more profoundly into why we think our thought process. Really, at that time, could we at any point have insight into assuming our viewpoints are valid, misleading, or confounded? Our considerations influence our day-to-day choices and connections profoundly. What's more, we would settle on better choices in all parts of our lives, assuming we were more clear about the underpinnings of our own reasoning. The issue with us is that we frequently react quickly to events in our environment. Stephen Bunch, in his book, The 7 Propensities for Profoundly Viable Individuals, calls this the 90-10 rule of life. Life is 10% what befalls us and 90% how we respond to it. Imagine that you trip on your child's bike in the driveway before going to work. Your kid races to help you, saying sorry. However, rather you shout at him, say awful words to the point of being heard by your better half, who storms outside and advises you to show some respect. You get into an argument with your wife, which leads to either missing your morning bus or almost getting into an accident because you drove too quickly on the road. You become useless for the day since you are as yet furious. Your group chief censures you, and due to what occurred in the first part of the day, you shout back at him. You get back home with trial suspension, a chilly treatment from your family, and a harsh day. Envision, on the other hand, that when you stumbled, you stood up, inhaled gradually, then pardoned your kid and said, "Be cautious next time. Make sure to keep your bicycle inside the carport." You won't be beginning a superfluous contention that can't tackle what really occurred. You won't miss the transport or rush through traffic, and you will assume command over your day. We can be blissful on the off chance that we become proactive, not responsive to what is befalling us. We need to have the right perspective that we can always choose not to be influenced by what is going on around us and instead use what we have to help us grow. 3. Make great karma. In the expressions of the Buddha, it is mental volition, O priests, that I call karma. Having willed, one acts through body, discourse, or psyche. In Buddhism, karma implies activities independently rather than all activities, as volitions can be generally fortunate or unfortunate. Thus, the resulting karma will also be favorable or negative. Great karma will prompt great results, and awful karma to terrible results throughout everyday life. In contrast to Western philosophies, which define will as a faculty independent of emotions and reason, the Eastern concept of volition is more complex. In Eastern methods of reasoning, volition is the main consider, deciding the karma. It decides the moral nature of the activity. It is a psychological motivation, a urge pushing us toward a specific encounter. Volition is something at the intersection among feeling and reason. A bad attitude or intention is the foundation of bad volition, and in order to avoid bad karma, we must align our actions with positive intentions and attitudes. All in all, we need to work first and foremost on our mentalities and goals to be perfect in our viewpoints and sentiments. Our expectations will prompt our activities, and they can have extraordinary results in our day-to-day existence. We really want to deal with ourselves in the present to construct a superior future for ourselves. As what we did in the past has reverberations in the present, what we in all actuality do now will have reverberations later on. In the event that we don't read up well for a test, we might fizzle. Assuming that we rest through our cutoff times and postponement finishing our errands, we might be late. On the off chance that we eat excessively, we might experience the ill effects of disorder from here on out. Assuming that we enjoy smoking and liquor, we might battle to surrender them in the years to come. In any case, recall, in the event that we decide to give more exertion today, we make certain to go past our previous slip-ups. If we, for instance, decide to concentrate on better beginning now, we can, in any case, accomplish the most amazing job we could ever imagine, or graduate in the course we love, regardless of whether that would take more time than we arranged. Plan how we will adjust our needs and our responsibility. Then we can, in any case, get done and be better in our work. In the event that we decide to begin working out, we can, in any case, live more steadily than we are presently. Nothing is written in stone. Our past doesn't characterize us, and what we really do today can shape our present and our future. Be that as it may, to put forth the right changes requires attempt, and this work won't make never-ending impacts unless it is based on a positive mindset, good intentions, or more specifically, a profound sense of compassion for ourselves and others. 4. Experience consistently like it is your last. The Buddha says fervently, do today what should be finished. Who knows, tomorrow demise comes. What's more, our objective ought to be to free ourselves from that pattern of anguish. The issue is, we will quite often imagine that we have absolutely no worries to speak of. We put every one of our endeavors into a tomorrow that may not come. I'll begin practicing tomorrow. I'll complete my work tomorrow. I'll call my mum tomorrow. I'll request pardoning tomorrow. And that is a reality we want to confront. We will live each day with fervor, making peace with everyone, and doing what we can today, so that we can rest soundly at night, knowing we have made the most of the day. To that end, it is vital to begin your day right, by rehearsing care contemplation. For instance, when you center around taking in and breathing out, you have an immediate encounter of fleetingness. At the point when you reflect on your difficult and miserable stories, you have an immediate encounter of torment. It propels you to live at the time. At the point when you are eating, eat. At the point when you are perusing, read. At the point when you are taking care of your business or at school, tackle your undertakings with center. At the point when you are driving your vehicle, drive your vehicle. Spend the time you spend with someone you're with. This permits you to move back from an earlier time and future. What's more, live right now, to be where you are at the present time. Number 5. The Buddha teaches us that good small habits lead to great things, and the water in the pot fills up gradually. Similarly, the simpleton, gathering it gradually, fills himself with evil. Similarly, the wise man fills himself with goodness by gradually accumulating it. The Buddhist way to deal with goodness and evil is exceptionally reasonable. Evil may, for a period, lead us to bliss. However, the entirety of our horrifying acts together will ultimately age and lead us to disease and terrible encounters. So while we might experience the ill effects of time to time, regardless of whether we are great, all our great activities will ultimately age and lead us to genuine satisfaction and goodness. As per the European Diary of Social Brain Science, it requires 18 to 254 days of consistent workout and pursue to foster another routine. On anything ability you wish to master, you can constantly begin today. You can't practice for one day and promptly expect that you will be better out of nowhere, beginning with little things like changing to better options of food, lively strolling, or getting up promptly in the first part of the day to extend. You can constantly begin little. Dr. Nora Volkow, head of the NIH's Public Foundation on Illicit Drug Use, proposes that the initial step is to turn out to be more mindful of your propensities so you can foster methodologies to transform them. You could start by avoiding the places that encourage your vice, such as drinking less alcohol or switching to healthier options, like unsalted popcorn over potato chips or chewing gum over smoking. It doesn't make any difference assuming you bomb once in a while. That is important for learning. 6. The Buddha instructs us to know from the rivers in clefts and crevices, those in small channels flow noisy, and the great flow silent. Whatever isn't full makes commotion, whatever is full hushes up. He accepted that there is generally a chance to talk and to tune in. Assuming one is to talk, he should talk just when he has good intentions and is simply charming and valid. In any case, one should figure out how to listen more, recognizing that we don't know it all. He conflicts with the pointless babble or the individuals who judge for arbitrary reasons and with their predispositions. With today's digital information, it's easy to fall for fake news as we scroll through social media. At times, we even legitimize our off-base convictions with one YouTube video or a solitary article. Little information is risky in light of the fact that we expect that there is a simple response, that each and every other inquiry is invalid, that we are the ones in particular who know reality. The term for it is the wisdom paradox. Take for instance the incomparable Albert Einstein when he said, "The more you learn, the more you learn, the more you learn, the more you are presented to what you don't have any idea." Buddha advises us that the people who are astute know to tune in on the grounds that they recognize that there are things that they don't have the foggiest idea. A little information is risky in light of the fact that you may be so persuaded with your perspective that you neglect to take a gander at reality, since you effectively excuse others. By listening and having a healthy conversation, you can share your wisdom and also learn from other people. In the event that in a contention, pick empathy. As per the Buddha, scorn is never pacified by contempt in this world. By non-contempt alone is disdain assuaged. Indeed, even Siddhartha Gotama experienced separation and languishing. He was once in a while mishandled, and he needed to go through a hard excursion to construct his inheritance. Additionally, other renowned pioneers like Martin Luther Jr., what's more, Mahatma Gandhi, had both pushed peaceful activity that prompted cultural changes in their relating nations, were survivors of malicious words, segregation, and doubt. Buddhism instructs us that the pattern of brutality, of scorn, of misuse, and of retribution can never be halted with contempt. When you insult someone and they insult you back, it sometimes gets worse. We leave with additional wounds and bruises when someone punches us back. Non-violence is more than just allowing oneself to be hounded or assaulted. It is also a means of defending oneself against even greater evils. Take, for instance, when you are harassed by a schoolmate or a partner. However long you don't feel genuinely compromised, engage yourself first. Help yourself to remember your integrity, that their words can never hurt you, and that however you might commit errors, you can continue on. Keep in mind, the domineering jerk believes you should feel furious and frail, since they are additionally encountering something terrible in their own life. A few reasonable arrangements incorporate when a domineering jerk is moving toward you. Count from 1 to 100 to loosen up yourself, or perhaps you can simply leave. Or on the other hand, on the off chance that he affronts you, participate, affront yourself, and snicker with him, leave. Or on the other hand, you can check out at them with empathy and be good to them. Take care of business. Try not to keep it in and don't stow away from it. Perhaps asking help from specialists could help, particularly assuming that the tormenting becomes serious or includes actual attack or misuse. Thinking deeply about your own talent allows you to see that you are more than whatever they say. 8. Pick companions for higher expectations without compromise. As per the Buddha, splendid fellowship, excellent friendship, outstanding kinship is really the entire of the blessed life. At the point when a priest has honorable individuals as companions, colleagues, and confidants, he can be anticipated to create and seek after the respectable eightfold way. The Buddha advises us that it is smarter to look for cooperation with respectable men than to connect with detestable associates. The Buddha recognizes that life is definitely not a singular excursion. En route, we experience many individuals. However, few out of every odd one of these individuals are great impacts for us. A few persistent vices are created as a result of negative companion pressure. In our encounters, when we are rich or in flourishing, when we are popular or notable, individuals like to associate with us. Be that as it may, when we are needing support, we track down less companions to go to. We can pursue the choice to pick individuals who can impact us to be better. Old buddies are the people who lead you to goodness, to excellence, to foster beneficial routines, and not the individuals who let you wander off, who push you to indecencies. It is preferable to have few friends who truly support, care about, and collaborate with you to improve your life. 9. Be liberal. In the expressions of the Buddha, a huge number of candles can be lit from a solitary light, and the existence of the candle won't be abbreviated, never diminishes by being shared. Buddha has consistently stressed how liberality and aiding each other can make extraordinary change on the planet. As per different examination, there is an expanding influence of benevolence. Similarly, as outrage or dread can be given to other people, so does a straightforward, thoughtful gesture. A basic grin to somebody can rouse them to work better. A token of empathy can be given to someone else. Someone might be motivated to open their door to a stranger if you assist them in carrying their groceries. That outsider would be propelled to pass on that thoughtful gesture by giving a lunch to a collaborator or helping an old individual across the road. A ton of things can leap out from that basic thoughtful gesture. Buddha, be that as it may, first requests that we deal with ourselves. You can't give what you don't have. You may truly need to assist individuals with the eventual result of depleting yourself or separating your limits or not giving yourself with timing to eat or rest. And afterward you become ill or worn out, then you wouldn't have the option to offer assistance to any other individual. It is vital to deal with yourself, to live steadily, to give yourself time for reflection, to request support from others on the grounds that really at that time could you at any point give the strength and cherish you have inside you. 10. You can be a Buddha too. In our last statement for this video, the Buddha says, you personally should endeavor. The Buddhas just point the way. This multitude of life illustrations given to us by Buddha are intended to instruct us that we can be a Buddha as well. We can also become enlightened, but only if we make the decision to apply these Buddhist teachings every day, can serve as a model for each of us and a source of motivation. At the present time, we might feel like life is irredeemable. We might end up underwater, troubled in our work, having battles with our loved ones. We might feel like life is too severe with us as of now. Buddha advises us that change begins with us. We ought to assume command over our lives and not surrender it to destiny or the sky. Battle well and don't surrender without any problem. Every one of the Honorable Eightfold Way, right view, right purpose, right discourse, smart activity, right vocation, right exertion, right care, and right fixation is something we can begin developing more by the propensities we fabricate. We can continuously understand more, research more, and we trust together to accomplish freedom from the existence of affliction. Or on the other hand, nirvana that the Buddha guides us to.